The galaxy had survived a lot of impossible things. It had endured supernova storms, black hole migrations, neural parasites, and even the Great Singing Plague of Sector 12, when an entire civilization uncontrollably belted opera for 6 straight months. But nothing prepared them for the day they discovered the most dangerous substance in the universe. A golden, salted, crispy Terran artifact. A French fry. The Shal-Ren Empire was the first to panic. Their scouts landed on Earth expecting to find primitive tools, unstable weather, perhaps a hostile ecosystem. What they found instead was a cardboard tray holding a food item so intoxicating, so irresistible, so neurologically overwhelming that their reconnaissance team had a full meltdown in a McDonald's parking lot. Other species tried to intervene. They tried regulating fries, banning fries, studying fries, destroying potatoes entirely. Galactic governments fell, black markets erupted, scientists formed cults, warlords traded starships for a single fry. All because of a snack humans treat like a side order. Soon, the galaxy realized something horrifying. If humans could casually create something this addictive, if something this powerful came from the appetizer section, what else were Terrans capable of? And just when panic reached its peak, just when fries became the most smuggled item in known space, just when the Council prepared to outlaw potatoes across the stars, they discovered the truth. Human teenagers were running the entire fry black market. 3 kids from Earth, armed with a food truck and 0 adult supervision, had accidentally destabilized galactic society. The Council summoned them, the galaxy feared them, and everyone desperately needed them, because something far worse was spreading across the stars. A planetary blight, a potato-killing plague. A crisis that threatened to erase the one thing holding billions of aliens emotionally together. Humanity was the last world with surviving potatoes. Earth had become the galaxy's final hope. And whether the universe liked it or not, the fate of interstellar civilization now rested in the hands of 3 teenagers, and the crispest fries the galaxy had ever tasted. Zoe Sparks always believed the universe was basically harmless, as long as she had a basket of fresh, crispy French fries in hand. Unfortunately, the universe strongly disagreed. It all began on an ordinary Wednesday, the most dangerous type of day, according to Zoe. Nothing good ever started on a Wednesday, but nothing truly terrible either. Wednesdays were neutral, chaotic forces, waiting for a small mistake to shove them into legendary status. Today's mistake? A perfectly ordinary order of fries. The Spud Nation food truck sizzled beside the town park, sending up a heavenly cloud of potato-scented steam. Zoe approached with reverence, like a pilgrim greeting a shrine. Marco's dad, Mr. Reyes, handed over her usual. Large fry, extra crisp, fresh out of the oil, he said proudly. The tray radiated warmth. Golden sticks glistened with tiny specks of salt. Zoe inhaled deeply. Today will be okay, she told herself. She dipped a fry into ketchup, bit down, and the universe answered by tearing open the sky. A ripple, like a shimmering soap bubble, expanded overhead. People screamed, dogs barked, phones came out.
The air crackled with ozone as a sleek silver ship descended, engines humming with quiet menace. Zoe froze mid-bite. Really? The ship landed on the grass with a soft whoomph, flattening a perfect circle. The hatch hissed open. 3 insectoid aliens stepped out, shimmering carapaces reflecting sunlight like oil on water. Their posture screamed scientist, but their stance hinted fight or flight or dissection. The tallest, 6 feet of angular plates and bright green eyes, sniffed the air. He stiffened. "Do you smell that?" he rasped in his native language. "Yes," another answered breathlessly. "Something divine." Their translator discs clicked on. They turned toward Zoe. She held her tray like a peace offering, or a shield, or both. The leader approached slowly, reverently, mandibles trembling. "Human," his translator buzzed. "Identify the glowing nutrient rods." Zoe blinked. "Glowing nutrient rods?" He pointed. "To the golden objects, the ones radiating seductive aroma." She stared at her fries. "Oh, these French fries." The alien repeated the words like a prayer. "French fries." "What are they composed of?" another asked urgently. "Potato." "Oil." "Salt." She hesitated, then added, "Love." The translators struggled to interpret love, settling on emotionally charged seasoning. The leader extended a clawed hand. "May I inspect one?" She shrugged. "Sure. They're hot." He lifted a single fry with exaggerated caution, sniffed it, then bit. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. His bioluminescent veins surged bright blue. His mandibles snapped open involuntarily. His posture straightened. Every plate of his exoskeleton vibrated like a tuning fork. He whispered, in pure awe, "More." Zoe offered the tray. He took all of it. The other 2 shoved him aside and devoured fries with the frantic energy of toddlers discovering chocolate milk. Spectators recorded the scene in disbelief. Then the aliens erupted in panicked chatter. "We must warn the conclave! No species should wield such pleasure. They have engineered emotional subjugation rods." They sprinted into their ship. The craft shot into the sky, leaving scorched grass and one deeply confused girl holding an empty paper tray. Zoe exhaled. Well, that happened. Above Earth, the alien vessel transmitted the first message of the coming crisis. "Urgent alert! Human fry sticks! Highly addictive! Civilization threatening! Seek immediate countermeasures!" The galaxy trembled. And Zoe went home unaware she had just created the most valuable contraband in the universe.
The Galactic Council Chamber was supposed to be the calmest place in the universe. It was suspended in orbit above a gas giant, wrapped in transparent alloy, bathed in soft starlight and muted blues. The architecture whispered, "We are wise, we are ancient, we do not panic." Today, everyone was panicking. Delegates from 100 species floated, perched or coiled around the central hollow well. Emergency feeds flickered in the air, shaky footage of 3 Curlon scientists devouring fries in a human park, like they'd discovered religion and were trying to eat it. At the center stood Vectok Tall, hands clasped, mandibles tight.
He looked like a man testifying about a war crime. Instead, he was talking about potatoes. "Please describe the incident," said chair-being Athos, a luminous winged entity whose halo dimmed with stress. Vex stared into the hollow well as a rendered French fry spun lazily above it, a perfectly detailed 3D model of Zoe's snack. "It began with the smell," Vex said. "Murmurs. The object was a simple structure, starch cylinder, fried, salted. I believed I could withstand it." "And you were wrong?" asked a delegate made of living gas. Vex's mandibles clicked. "I have faced plasma storms, void sickness, battlefields. Nothing has ever broken my discipline like the fry." The Council AI, an enormous lattice of light above the chamber, projected a brain scan next to the spinning fry. "Pre-fry neural activity ordered. Post-fry neural activity fireworks." The scan looked like someone had set a solar flare loose inside Vex's skull. "There was euphoria," Vex admitted, shame burning his voice. "Compulsion for further intake, reduced concern for dignity, mission parameters, or public perception." The Hollow replayed the raw footage, Curlon scientists on their knees in the park, shoving fries into their mandibles, laughing, crying, praising an unknown fry goddess. Someone in the chamber whispered, horrified, "They licked their claws." "Unprecedented," muttered an Omri jelly being. The AI continued, annoyingly cheerful. "Simulation indicates French fries trigger pleasure centers in 89.3% of known species. Fat-salt-starch combination forms a near-perfect hedonic spike. Strong potential for—" "In common, please," snapped a reptilian admiral. The AI paused. "They made a snack that makes your brain extremely happy with minimal input." "And that's it?" asked a rock-skinned Varn delegate. "Yes," the AI replied. "And no, hedonic spikes create craving loops. Combine that with cultural novelty and existing stress factors, and you get—" The chamber doors burst open. An aide rushed in, panting. "Update. Curlon science crews are refusing to return to work unless promised additional fry shipments." Another aide. "Merchants on 3 worlds are attempting to synthesize fries from inferior roots." A third. "A minor religion has formed around the golden sticks of Earth. They are chanting for salt." The temperature in the chamber metaphorically dropped. Athos straightened. "We must act before this spirals." They spread their glowing wings. "We cannot allow one primitive world snack to compromise galactic stability. I propose a prohibition." A scroll of light wrote itself in the air. "Fry Prohibition Decree 04B. All fried potato products banned. All trade with Earth involving tubers forbidden. All recordings of French fries sealed. Any being caught importing or consuming fries sanctioned." "Those in favor?" Athos asked. Almost every limb, wing, tendril, and glow pulse lit red for yes. "So decreed," Athos said. "Effective." They never finished. The AI pulsed. "Apologies. Intercepted dark channel chatter." A hushed stillness fell. The AI displayed a message pulled from a smuggler's network. "Heard the council banned the golden sticks. Prices just tripled. Meet at the outer docks. Bring credits." Another message, need Fry Connect, will trade hyperdrive parts, discreet. Athos stared. We have not even issued the decree publicly. You didn't have to, the AI replied. Someone leaked the vote. The ban created scarcity. Scarcity triggered market activity. Congratulations, you have made fries cool. Vec groaned softly. There will be smugglers. The AI said, already are. Primary target, Earth. The holo map zoomed in on the blue-green world. For the first time in centuries, the Council faced a problem that couldn't be solved with fleets, laws, or blockades. They'd tried to outlaw joy. The universe, predictably, responded by wanting it more. And somewhere on that blue planet, a girl named Zoe Sparks walked home thinking only, tomorrow I'm getting extra sauce.
Zoe Sparks didn't consider herself a criminal mastermind. She considered herself a hungry teenager with decent grades and a deep emotional bond with fried potatoes. But the universe was generous with opportunities, especially the illegal kind. It all began 3 days after the alien freakout in the park. Zoe sat behind Spud Nation on an overturned bucket while Marco Reyes dumped a fresh batch of fries into the metal tray. The sun dipped low, painting the asphalt gold. Heat rose off the fryer vents like a holy aura. "You think those aliens are coming back?" Marco asked, shaking the basket so the fries tumbled. Zoe shrugged. Honestly, they looked more traumatized than hostile. Marco smirked. "First time anyone said fries caused trauma." Zoe nudged him. "Some people can't handle greatness." Before Marco could reply, the familiar shimmer of rippling air appeared. A portal, small, circular, buzzing with faint static. Zoe stood. Marco?" A floating metal pod drifted out of the portal. It was small, spherical, and covered in blinking holographs. Inside sat a tiny blue being with large gemstone eyes and feathery antennae. The alien zoomed toward them eagerly. "Greetings, Terran Fry distributors! We seek the golden bliss sticks." "The what?" Marco asked. The alien raised a hologram, a photo of a French fry. Zoe choked. "Bliss sticks? Who named them that?" The alien pressed its hands together desperately. "Please, the cravings grow. We have traveled 5 light hours through unregistered warp streams to acquire your product." Marco blinked. "Wait, you crossed illegal warp space for fries?" "Yes," the alien said solemnly. "Our entire community scrapes together everything we have. Credits, minerals, jewelry for just 1 serving." It reached into the pod and withdrew a glowing crystalline cube. Marco gasped. "Dude, that's a star crystal!" "Payment," the alien said hopefully, bobbing up and down. Zoe stared at Marco. Marco stared at the crystal. The crystal hummed with potential college tuition. Jinx Callahan emerged from behind the dumpster with a wrench in her hair and a tablet in hand. "I told you something was pinging our network," she muttered. Then she saw the star crystal. "Okay, yep, we're officially in the snack smuggling business." "What? No!" Marco protested. Jinx scoffed. "Marco, we're literally 2 feet from a portal full of desperate alien fry addicts. Ethics left the building hours ago." The alien rotated impatiently. "Do you accept the trade, or must we perish?" Zoe cracked. "Marco," she said, "get the good oil." 10 minutes later, the alien held a fresh tray of fries. It tasted one.
Its body shimmered, its pod spun in blissful spirals, its antennae popped like fireworks. "We will return," it promised before zooming into the portal. It was the first sail, but not the last. More portals came, more aliens arrived, more crates of fries vanished into the void. Marco perfected fry technique like a mad culinary scientist. Soak times, double fry methods, seasoning variations. Jinx built a hidden communication grid to intercept alien craving signals. Zoe negotiated deals with ruthless efficiency. The three held meetings in abandoned classrooms, parking lots, and the roof of Spud Nation. They had no business plan, no adult oversight, and no idea this was spiraling into a galactic crisis. "So, what do we call ourselves?" Jinx asked one night while tagging crates. Marco suggested, "The Potato Crew." "No," Zoe said instantly. Jinx scribbled something. "How about the Fry Syndicate?" Marco groaned. "That sounds illegal." "It is," Zoe said, "and we're good at it." By the following week, their reputation spread across black market networks. The Fry Syndicate, purveyors of the crunch that breaks worlds. Zoe Sparks wasn't a villain, but she was about to become the most influential snack lord in the galaxy.
Across the galaxy, civilizations had survived plagues, invasions, cosmic storms, and one famously cranky sentient black hole. But none of them were prepared for French fries. The first strange symptom appeared on Gara 6, a warrior world known for producing the toughest soldiers in the quadrant. Their morning combat drills were legendary, brutal, disciplined, and terrifying. Now, they were distracted. Commander Vrosh, a hulking reptilian beast with spikes like serrated knives, watched his platoon standing in formation. Instead of training, they whispered feverishly, "Do you think the Terrans will bring more today? I heard they have a spiral version. Shh, don't speak of the curly." Vrosh's left eye twitched. "Explain yourselves." One soldier raised a trembling claw. "Commander, have you tasted the crisp?" Vrosh hadn't. He regretted that. On the medical moon of Elarat Prime, scientists struggled to understand the crisis. Dr. Lyra, four-eyed, calm, brilliant, studied neural scans of a fry consumer. A glowing storm lit up the brain like festival lights. "Excessive activity in pleasure centers," she murmured, "but no organ damage, no toxicity, just unfathomable delight." Her assistant, Yav, nodded while eating contraband fries from a paper pouch. "Yav, I told you not to eat the test samples." He shrugged, licking salt from his fingers. "I can stop whenever I want." "That's because every day I want fries." Back on KRLON research stations, productivity collapsed. Scientists who once debated quantum tunneling now held passionate philosophical arguments. Straight fries provide structural purity. Curly fries are proof the universe loves aesthetics. Waffle fries allow sauce distribution efficiency unmatched by physics. Meetings devolved into snack worship. On diplomatic worlds, ambassadors bargained desperately with smugglers. "I will pay 3 royal jewels for a single fry. 5 if it's still hot." On industrial mining planets, fries became currency. 1 fry equals 1 power crystal. 1 large equals a week's worth of oxygen. A basket enough to bribe entire governments. The Galactic Council tried to regain control. They issued warnings. Limit your intake to 1 fry per day. Aliens laughed hysterically and ate entire bags. They attempted anti-fry propaganda. Posters showing sad, droopy fries with captions like, "Is this worth it?" Aliens stole the posters because they made them hungry. The council deployed patrol ships to seize potatoes. Patrol ships were bribed with fries. Entire star systems fell into emotional chaos. Sleep schedules destroyed. Work attendance plummeted. Fry speakeasies opened in abandoned spaceports. New slang spread. Got the crisp? Looking for golden bliss. Salt me, brother. And the cravings. Oh, stars, the cravings. Lyra documented symptoms. Sudden humming or singing. Spontaneous weeping at the thought of crunch. Obsession with dipping sauces. Staring longingly at random root vegetables. Then came the message that shook the council. "Help us! Our citizens are hosting fry orgies!" Aethys slammed their glowing wings against the podium. "This is unacceptable!" Vex stood beside them, cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "In fairness, fries are quite good." "You're not helping," Aethys hissed. On Earth, Zoe checked her encrypted alien message feed. Hundreds of pings, all with the same plea. "More fries, please, we beg you." Zoe raised her eyebrows. "That's alarming." Marcos sighed, wiping oil off his apron. "We may have accidentally created a galaxy-wide addiction." Jinx grinned mischievously. "Yeah, but like a fond addiction." "Jinx!" "What? They're happy." Zoe stared at the chaos unfolding across her screen. Riots, chanting aliens, smuggling networks. Her fries had become the most powerful substance in the universe. And it was only getting worse.
In the vast, dignified history of the Galactic Council, there had been countless military operations, precision strikes, liberation campaigns, peacekeeping fleets. None of them compared to Operation Mashdown, a classified mission ordered during a fit of collective panic. The objective was simple: raid Earth's potato farms, destroy the source, end the fry crisis. There was one fatal flaw. They chose Idaho. At dawn, an armada of sleek council dropships pierced the sky, slipping into the quiet farmlands like metallic sharks hunting in wheat. The ships deployed dozens of elite harvest suppression units, armored specialists trained for high-risk agrarian combat. The locals, however, were not impressed. Farmer Bill Henderson, 62 years old, wearing denim overalls and a faded cap reading "Spud Life," sipped his morning coffee on his porch as the first ship landed in his potato field. He squinted at the glowing ramp. "Well, ain't that something?" A squad of insectoid troopers marched down the ramp, weapons drawn. "Human agricultural overseer, stand down and surrender your starch nodules." Bill blinked slowly. "My what now?" "Your tubers." "Oh," Bill said. "Potatoes." "Yes," the alien snapped. "The potatoes." Bill set his coffee down. "Son, you're trespassing." The aliens advanced. Bill walked into his barn. The aliens prepared for resistance, maybe primitive guns, maybe crude traps. They did not expect Bill to return with a modified pressure washer, a potato cannon the size of a small child, a wild expression that suggested he'd been waiting for this moment. "Boys, we got ourselves a spud emergency." The first blast hit the commander square in the chest. Thwump! A raw potato fired at 140 miles per hour knocked him flat on his back. The other aliens shrieked in alarm. "The human has weaponized potatoes! Retreat formation! They are using tubers against us!" "Nope," Bill muttered, firing another. "Just defending my crop." Nearby farms saw the commotion, and Idaho responded the only way Idaho knows, with overwhelming potato-themed force. Dozens of farmers mobilized, tractors rolling like armored cavalry, irrigation hoses blasting aliens with 90 psi of icy water, teenage 4-H kids dual-wielding slingshots loaded with fingerlings, grandmas flinging mashed potatoes from cast-iron skillets. A retired Marine named Patty rode into battle on an ATV yelling, "You picked the wrong county!" Alien comms lit up. "Request backup! Humans are advancing! They're using agricultural machinery as assault vehicles! Their elder female just hit me with a skillet!" One squad attempted to retreat, only to be chased by Farmer Bill's tractor. "This terrain favors the humans," the aliens cried. "No," Vectoctal said grimly as he watched the disaster unfold from orbit. "Their spirit favors them." Within hours, Operation Mashdown collapsed. The Council forces evacuated in humiliation, dripping mud, bruised, covered in mashed potato, and limping back into their ships. Idaho farmers returned to breakfast. Bill sipped his coffee on the porch again, watching the last ship flee. "Darn tourists," he muttered.
The Galactic Council had failed. Idaho had won. And now the galaxy teetered on the edge of a crisis no military doctrine had ever accounted for. Organized fry crime. As word spread that Earth's potatoes were nearly impossible to seize by force, demand skyrocketed. The black market, already thriving, expanded into full-blown interstellar syndicates. Every species, every sector, every smuggler wanted a share of the golden crunch economy. And when a product is so valuable, it can buy starship parts, political favors, entire moons. Competition gets deadly, but funny deadly. The first cartel, the Curly Kings. The spiral fry obsession began on the neon-lit pleasure world of Zira, where aliens gathered in velvet lounges to savor curly fries like forbidden poetry. Their cartel enforcers carried ornate spiral-shaped staffs. Their motto? Perfection is a curve. Their product was so addictive that diplomats often vanished mid-negotiation to chase the curl high. The Waffle Syndicate. Headquartered in the industrial grids of Tau 9, the Waffle Syndicate enforced territory with geometric precision. Their fry labs were high-tech sanctuaries, producing lattice fries that evenly distributed sauce, an engineering feat they bragged about endlessly. Their motto? Symmetry is strength. The Shoestring Mafia. Their fries were thin, their patience was thinner. Operating in the underbelly of asteroid markets, these smugglers dealt exclusively in shoestring fries, the quick hit of the fry world. Their motto? One fry is never enough. The Hash Brown Brotherhood. Part cult, part biker gang. Their territory was every breakfast diner in 3-star systems. They worshipped the crisp-to-soft ratio of hash browns like holy scripture. Their motto? We rise with the sun in the crunch. But across the galaxy, one group loomed larger than all of them. Not because they were violent, not because they were wealthy, not because they had fleets or armies, but because they had the best fries. The Fry Syndicate. Zoe Sparks's operation had exploded into legend.
Marco's perfectly crafted fries had been declared a religious event by the Omri clergy, crispy enlightenment by the Kurlan scientists, and illegal but worth it by every smuggler ever. Jinx created a network of encrypted portals, dead drops, and holographic decoys. If an alien wanted fries, all they had to do was whisper the right phrase into a vent on any cargo station. Got the crisp? And a delivery from the syndicate might appear if Zoe approved. Because Zoe had a rule. No fries to tyrants. No fries to warlords. No fries to anyone who treated their own people like garbage. Her ethical stance wasn't intentional, it just felt right. But it made the syndicate legendary and very, very dangerous. Word spread. The Terran Fry Queen denies fries to tyrants. She forces warlords to negotiate peace in exchange for dipping sauces. She spoke a single sentence that ended a civil war. No fries until you stop being jerks. The other cartels were furious. Some attempted sabotage. Some tried bribes. Some sent assassins. Zoe responded by dumping an entire batch of hyper-salted fries on the floor in front of them and saying, "Try me." The assassins wept. Not from fear, from the smell. They begged for a taste instead. It only made the Fry Syndicate's legend grow. Across the galaxy, fries were no longer just food. They were power. They were politics. They were diplomacy. And Zoe Sparks, 16, chronically broke, perpetually hungry, had accidentally become the most influential culinary kingpin in known space.
Zoe Sparks had faced many terrifying things in her life. Finals week, Marco's attempts at experimental seasoning, Jinx's driving. None of that prepared her for standing in the center of the Galactic Council chamber surrounded by hundreds of furious, glowing, clicking, buzzing, hissing alien diplomats. Atrial beams of pale starlight cut through the vast cathedral-like dome. The floor beneath her shimmered with holographic constellations. Every eye, compound, luminous, mechanical, or stock-mounted, was locked onto her. Marco swallowed audibly. Jinx tried to reprogram her nerves via deep breathing. Zoe stared upward and whispered, "Okay, kinda sick room, not gonna lie." Chairbean Aethys descended from the upper platform in a flare of radiant wings. Their voice echoed through the chamber. Zoe Sparks, Marco Reyes, Jinx Callahan, known throughout the black markets as the Fry Syndicate. Zoe winced. "Can we not say it like that? Makes us sound like criminals." "You are criminals," Aethys said, glowing brighter. "You have destabilized 8 economies, corrupted trade networks, triggered addiction spirals, caused riots, inspired cults." The holoscreens crackled to life around the chamber, displaying aliens chanting, "Crisp, crisp, crisp!" A diplomatic summit collapsing because someone smuggled fries into the meeting. A giant octopus being sobbing into a basket of waffle fries. A crime lord offering his empire for a single curly fry. Jinx spoke up. "Okay, but in fairness, none of this was in the likely consequences of deep-frying potatoes manual." "There is no such manual," Aethys shouted. "Exactly. So technically, we didn't break any fry-related galactic regulations." The chamber erupted in outrage. Vec Toctal floated forward, mandibles tense. "Terrans, do you deny your involvement in illegal fry trafficking?" Zoe sighed. "Look, we didn't know fries were illegal. On Earth, fries are a side dish, not a controlled substance." A delegate made of swirling mist hissed, "Your side dish nearly caused my people to abandon all non-fry agriculture." Another, one with crystal skin, trembled. "My scientists refuse to work unless offered dipping sauces." Zoe held up her hands. None of that is our fault. You guys freaked out and banned fries like they were weapons. People want what they can't have. That's basic teenage psychology. The council stared. What is a teenager? Asked a bulky reptilian general. Someone whose entire personality is wanting things adults say they can't have, Marco explained. Gasps. Whispers. Athos leaned closer, voice trembling. You are teenagers? Zoe shrugged. Yeah. You destabilized the galaxy? Athos whispered, horrified. Zoe shrugged again. We destabilize a lot of things. Have you seen TikTok challenges? The AI core descended into the chamber, glowing softly. I have analyzed the situation. Probability of intentional planetary domination is 0.2%. Probability of accidental snack-based upheaval is 99.8%. See? Chink said. It was an accident. It was an apocalypse, someone shouted. The AI continued, unbiased. However, the syndicate also prevented 6 wars by manipulating fry supply. Their fry embargo forced 2 empires into peace negotiations. Their distribution to medical stations increased morale by 48%. Vec blinked in awe. You used fries as diplomacy? Zoe shrugged. Well, yeah. Athos hovered lower, conflicted. You 3 might be dangerous, but also strangely effective. Zoe crossed her arms. If you want to fix the fry problem, you could have just talked to us sooner. The chamber fell silent. The council that tried bans, armadas, raids, propaganda. They never tried asking Earth for help. Athos drew a deep, glowing breath. Terrans, what do you propose? Zoe smiled a slow, dangerous, Fry Queen smile. Glad you asked.
For a brief, glorious moment, the galaxy believed the Fry crisis was under control. New regulations were drafted. Trade routes were being mapped. Zoe even created a document titled Galactic Fry Safety Guidelines Draft 37, which mostly contained doodles of potatoes wearing sunglasses, but still, it was progress. Then nature stepped in, and nature said, "Lol, no." The first sign. On the agricultural moon Zeroth, a farmer bent down to inspect his crop of star nuts, large potato-like roots prized across 3 star systems. They were usually firm, earthy, and delicious when fried. Today, they were mush. Worse than mush. They smelled like sadness and rot. The farmer screamed. Within 48 hours, the reports began. Root systems collapsing, fields liquefying, entire harvests dissolving into sludge. The council called an emergency meeting. Dr. Lyra appeared, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her hair floated from static exhaustion as she projected a hologram of a fungal spore. "This," she said grimly, "is the problem." The spore wriggled. Someone fainted. It is a mutated fungal blight. It destroys tubers, roots, starch-bearing crops, anything remotely potato-adjacent. Athos's wings flickered. How widespread? Lyra swallowed. Galaxy-wide. A collective gasp rippled through the chamber. Vec rose shakily. "Are you telling us there will be no fries?" Lyra hesitated. "On any world except Earth, yes." Panic erupted instantly. Delegates screamed, wailed, collapsed. One tried to eat the hologram. Athos slammed the gavel. "Order! We must maintain order!" But there was no order. Not when the galaxy had collectively lost its starch. Meanwhile, on Earth, Zoe Sparks woke to 97 missed messages and a hologram of Athos flickering in her bedroom like a glowing angel having a nervous breakdown. She rubbed her eyes. Good morning?" "There is no good morning," Athos wailed. "The galaxy is dying." Jinx rolled out of bed, tangled in wires. "What now?" Athos leaned forward dramatically. "Terrans, your potatoes are the galaxy's last hope." Marco, still half asleep, blinked. "Huh?" The hologram expanded to show fields across the galaxy turning into gray sludge. "Behold the destruction," Athos said solemnly. Jinx squinted. "Okay. Ooh." Zoe stood, suddenly serious. "So Earth's potatoes are unaffected?" Lyra appeared next to Athos. "Your potato species are oddly resistant, likely due to centuries of human selective breeding and stubborn farming. Also, Idaho," Zoe added. "Yes," Lyra said, bowing her head, "especially Idaho." Athos spread his wings in a pleading gesture. "Terrans, without your help, fry culture will collapse. The galaxy's morale will crumble. Entire civilizations will spiral into despair." Marco frowned. "Wait, you want our potatoes?" "Yes," Athos whispered reverently. "Every single one." Zoe folded her arms. "And what exactly do we get in return?" The council chamber fell quiet. Marco muttered, "Zoe, maybe this isn't the time to negotiate. This is exactly the time. Intergalactic trade, improved diplomacy, protection of Earth, access to alien tech, potatoes aren't cheap." Jinx nodded. "Also, absolutely no more raids on Idaho." Athos bowed. "Agreed. All terms negotiable. Please, save us." Vex stepped forward, desperation cracking his voice. "We beg you, bring back the crunch." Zoe exhaled slowly as the weight of the galaxy settled on her shoulders. "Fine," she said. "We'll help." A collective cry of joy echoed across the chamber. Jinx whispered, "Dude, we just became the potato superpower of the universe." Marco added, "This feels historically important." Zoe smirked. "Let's go save the galaxy with French fries."
The Galactic Council had drafted thousands of treaties in its long, illustrious history. Agreements on peace, trade, gravity manipulation, star lane boundaries, even silence protocols for species that communicated exclusively through rhythmic screaming. None of them compared to what was about to happen. For the first time, humanity was negotiating the Fry Accords, a galaxy-defining treaty written by 3 teenagers, a panicking interstellar government, and a vegetable. Star, the council convenes. The chamber pulsed with frantic energy. Delegates clutched data pads, frantically rewriting proposals, scratching out failed ideas like limit fry consumption to 2 per person per day, ban potatoes from history, invent fry substitutes immediately. Dr. Lyra stood at the center, projecting data showing the blight spreading across star systems like mold on cosmic toast. She said, "This is unsustainable. Without Terran potatoes, we will experience a galaxy-wide morale collapse, followed by riots, panic-driven migration, and the rise of fry cults." Several delegates whispered nervously, because the fry cults already existed. Athos turned towards Zoe, Marco, and Jinx, 3 teenagers standing on the central platform like accidental monarchs. Athos said solemnly, "Terrans, we we beg your assistance." Zoe crossed her arms. "We'll help, but we want terms." A ripple of gasps. The Varn ambassador sputtered, "Terms? You are children." "Yeah, and somehow we're the only ones who didn't lose our minds over fried potatoes." Jinx added, "Also, you attacked Idaho. So." Marco nodded. "Yeah, not cool."
Aethys dimmed in shame. Our actions were misguided. Understatement of the millennium, Jinx muttered. Star, Zoe Sparks negotiates with the galaxy. Zoe stepped forward, tone sharp and steady. Here are our demands, not requests, demands. She raised one finger. 1. No more fry prohibition. Bans create black markets create chaos. You brought this on yourselves. Aliens murmured, embarrassed. Zoe raised a second finger. 2. Transparent fry distribution. We're setting up official fry stations in sectors that need them. Medical worlds, refugee zones, morale hotspots. A jelly being quivered. Morale hotspots? Places where everyone's sad. Marco translated. 3. Mandatory education on moderation. You cannot eat 200 fries in one sitting. That's not enlightenment. That's a stomachache. Several delegates bowed their heads in shame. Fourth finger. Protection for Earth. Any attack, raid, or unauthorized harvest attempt results in immediate fry embargo. Aethys froze. You would weaponize fries? Absolutely, Zoe said. We've learned from you guys. Leverage works. Fifth finger. No fries for tyrants. Authoritarian regimes don't get comfort food. The room fell silent. Dr. Lyra whispered, You are using fries to influence galactic politics. Zoe shrugged. Yup. Viktaktal bowed deeply. This may be exactly what we needed. Star, the vote. Aethys raised her wings. Delegates, cast your decision. The votes flashed into the air. Yes, 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 yes. 8 delegates began crying while pressing yes. 1 confused maybe. Yes, yes, yes. The Fry Accords passed unanimously. Aethys declared, Terrans, you have saved the galaxy. Zoe smirked. With potatoes. Jinx whispered, This is either the proudest or dumbest moment in interstellar history. Marco wiped his hands on his apron nervously. We should, start cooking? Aethys bowed. We will erect fry preparation centers. We will support sustainable starch production. We will... Zoe cut in. All that's great, but first, we fix the famine. And so, humanity shipped billions of blight-proof potato starters across the galaxy. Farmers rejoiced. Cults disbanded. Smugglers cried. Economy crash. Diplomats sobbed openly upon receiving donation crates labeled, From Earth with Crunch. The galaxy began to heal, slowly, deliciously. And Zoe Sparks, a girl who once just wanted a snack after school, had restructured interstellar relations using nothing but fries, stubbornness, and teenage moral clarity. The universe would never be the same.
The galaxy healed in stages. First came the relief, the return of fries to devastated worlds. Doctors served them in morale wards. Soldiers received them before missions. Teachers gave crunch breaks to help stressed students. Entire neighborhoods gathered around community fry stations the way ancient civilizations once gathered around fire. Then came the gratitude. Alien leaders sent ornate gifts to Earth. A gravity harp that played songs without strings. A container of starlight preserved in liquid form. A small moon, politely returned by the UN. But the biggest change was cultural. The Fry Accords reshaped interstellar diplomacy. Council meetings, once cold and hostile, transformed into warm, convivial summits with baskets of regulated fries served in the center. Even Aethys, once proud and rigid, learned the art of dipping sauce. Yet, among all this galactic transformation, Earth remained wonderfully, stubbornly Earth. People still ate fries after school. Food trucks still rattled over bumpy parking lots. And Spud Nation still sat beneath the same sycamore tree where it had always been. A new era begins.
Zoe Sparks sat on the truck's roof one warm evening, legs dangling over the edge, watching the stars slowly brighten against the twilight sky. The truck now had interstellar-grade armor plating, a holographic menu, and a reinforced fryer capable of feeding a small space station. Marco installed all of it. Jinx made sure it didn't explode. Footsteps approached. Marco climbed up beside her, carrying a basket of freshly made curl-on fries, Vec's homeworld adaptation. They've got a smoky flavor. Try one. Zoe bit into it. Crunch! Then a soft, earthy sweetness. Her eyes widened. Oh, wow! Crolon knows what they're doing. Marco grinned proudly. Vec sent the recipe. Says the new fry centers are, quote, places of spiritual balance, unquote. Zoe laughed. They're restaurants, Marco. We invented restaurants for them. Jinx climbed up next, holding her tablet. FYI, we just got a message from the council. They're making Friday an official rotating holiday. Zoe groaned. The puns must stop. They won't. They're baked in now. Zoe gazed at the stars. They used to look distant and unreachable. Now they looked connected, like the universe wasn't something to fear, but something that occasionally needed help getting its act together. And fries, of all things, had been the bridge. A visitor returned. A small shuttle descended nearby. The door opened. Vec Toktal stepped out, older, wiser, now wearing ceremonial robes etched with swirling patterns that suspiciously resembled curly fries. Fry Queen, Vec said warmly. Please don't call me that. It is a title of honor. It's a title that makes me sound crispy. Vec chuckled, offering a container. I bring our newest creation, solar spice fries. Zoe tasted one. Her entire spine tingled. Oh no, these are incredible. Marco leaned over. We may have competition. We welcome competition, Vec said proudly. It means we are learning. Jinx nudged Zoe. You realize what this means, right? What? You changed galactic culture. You gave them joy. They didn't need a conqueror. They needed comfort food. She paused. That's kind of beautiful. Zoe shrugged, cheeks warm. All I did was share fries. And that, Vec said, bowing deeply, is why your world will forever be known as... A projection lit the sky behind him, an official star map updated hours earlier. In glowing letters, Sector FF01, the Forbidden Potato World. Zoe looked at her friends, then at the stars, then back at the fry in her hand. Well, she said, I guess there are worse things to be famous for. Jinx raised her basket. Marco lifted his. Vec followed, solemn and joyful. Together, they toasted the night sky with golden fries. The galaxy had fallen apart over potatoes, and somehow, impossibly, potatoes had put it back together.